Welcome to the first of the talks in our series celebrating the Year of Faith, which is being celebrated as the Council of Nicaea's anniversary is celebrated throughout the Church, the Council having met in the year 325. As we celebrate, so we begin by thinking about the first fundamental principle. What is faith? What is the doctrine of faith? What do we mean when we say we believe and have faith in something? The Epistle to the Hebrews tells us that faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. And as we think about faith in that light, so we listen to what the Apostle Paul tells us. St. Paul says that faith, hope, and love are the way in which we enjoy friendship with God, the way in which we participate in his life, in this life, and in the world to come. Faith, hope, and love are virtues. And in this life, it's important to remember, even as we exercise the virtue of right faith and right believing, that what underpins all our friendship with God is the virtue of love, because God is love, and to share in his love in this life and in the world to come is our calling. But the virtue of faith is part of that act of friendship and communion with God. The virtue of faith is the way in which our minds assent with trust to what God tells us about what he is like and about what we are for. That means that when we think about divine things, when we learn about divine things, two things happen in us. Firstly, we exercise our wills. Faith is an act of will. We desire to find out the truth about God and about ourselves. And just as we do that, just as we exercise our wills through study and prayer and listening to sermons, so also God, through his grace, cooperates in us. And he builds us up in the confidence that we need, so that in the end we are able to make a true act of faith, to say that we believe and trust in things that we cannot see. Many of you will know the image and the devotion promoted by St. Faustina, in which we're encouraged to say, "Jesus, I trust in you." This is the essence of what it means to exercise the virtue and the habit of faith. To say, "Jesus, I trust in you." To place our confidence in the one who has all the truth about us and can give it to us, explaining to us what our lives are about, what they're for, and what our heavenly destiny is to be. So as Christians, we are people of faith. How then do we become people of a deeper faith? We do that by being attentive to the word of Scripture, by participating in the sacramental life of the Church, by listening to the Church's teachers. But we do it also in a way that is deep and profound by making acts of faith. This year we will be thinking in particular about the creed of the Council of Nicaea, that proclamation of faith that we make at Mass week by week. As we do that, though, we are making an act of faith that unites us with Christians throughout the world. But we also do it in order to deepen our own faith. By saying those words, we assent and testify to the faith which they contain. So may God, in this year of faith and through this programme of talks and study, confirm us in our faith, so that we become people confident with assurance of things hoped for and conviction of things not seen.